My male 29 wife 29 female is trying to push me into sleeping with her friend 27 female. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure if I should do it. My wife of 3 years, 10 years together, and have what I think is a solid marriage and sex life. A long time ago, she asked me if there was any of our mutual friends I was attracted to. I told her that I only had eyes for her. She said she was serious and said she wanted to know names. I refused to answer. She's kept trying to get me to tell her, and eventually I broke and said a name. She then asked if I would sleep with her. I told her of course not. She then asked if I would if we weren't married. I still said no. My wife said I was lying and she kept pushing me to answer otherwise. I again just gave up and said sure, if I wasn't in love with her I'd sleep with her friend. That was the end of the conversation. Over the last few months the friend has came up in conversation. My wife specifically has been comparing herself to her. Like she'll make a comment on how said friend has a better butt than her or is more well endowed than her. I'll always tell her that she's better looking, but she won't believe me. I get the feeling she is very upset that I said that and is now jealous of her friend because she caught my attention. 3 weeks ago my wife offered to get me and her friend together. I was taken aback and asked her WTF she was taking about. She then said that she knew I wanted to sleep with her, and that I thought she was better looking than her, and she would understand and wouldn't care if we slept together once. I told her that she was speaking crazily, and that I wasn't into her friend. She then said that it's not going to hurt her feelings if I am, and that she really thinks that I should accept her offer. I told her no, and she legitimately asked me if I would fuck her friend. I again said no. I asked why she wants this. She said it wasn't some weird fetish, that she just wanted me to be satisfied. I told her that I couldn't sleep with another woman. She had been asking me to do this for a while now, and she even told me that the friend is open if I am. Which bothers me that she told her friend about this. She really wants me to do this for some odd reason, and isn't letting it go. I'm tempted just to do it so I don't have to hear it again, but I really don't want to sleep with anyone other than my wife. But apparently she's all for me banging a friend that she is jealous of. This is such a strange situation, and I'm really at a loss. Can anyone tell me why she's like this, or what I should dostory to? My 21 female Muslim mom 48 female will likely disown me for spending Christmas with my BF 24M. I 21F. Come from a Muslim background. I myself am not super religious and are barely practicing, but my mom 48F. And the rest of my close extended family are. A little over a year ago, I met an amazing guy 24M, and we started dating. Everything was great. I was in another city for an internship through school, but once that internship came to an end, I had to go back home. My BF and I decided that he would move to my city since I still had a degree to finish and he was wrapping up his master's. Now that he was moving, we thought it would be an appropriate time to tell my mom. Only problem is that he's not Muslim, he's an atheist. It's not a problem to me at all, but I knew it would be for my religious mom, and so I prepared myself and my BF for the potential backlash. I honestly couldn't have told my mom without my sister's 17F help. She reassured me that everything would be okay and was supportive of my relationship. I ended up telling my mom, and she took it much better than expected. She even met my BF over Thanksgiving, and I thought everything was going well. I live at my university and came home this weekend and told her that my BF and his family had invited me to their home for Christmas. All hell broke loose. My mom basically told me I was flying across the country over her dead body, and that if I went I shouldn't bother coming home. She accused me of caring more about my BF and his family than her, and it turned into a family crying and yelling fest. She thinks it's wrong of me to travel with my BF and stay alone with him somewhere. I reassured her I would be staying in the guest bedroom and that we'd be with his family, but she did not care. For COVID concerns, she shouldn't have any because my BF is from a very small town with one COVID case so far, and in my country domestic travel is not limited. My mom is worried about how this will look to our extended family and that I'm going to look like a characterless girl. She's forbidden me from going. I had already made up my mind that I wanted to go, and I didn't expect her to be happy about it, but I didn't expect her to have such a strong negative reaction. It honestly feels like if I go that I will be disowned. I know one Christmas isn't that big a deal, but I was really looking forward to going and I feel like I shouldn't let my mom dictate how I live my life. I'm a college student and as such financially dependent on her at the moment, but I do have money saved up and I think the money for my education is in an account in my name, so I should be able to access it even if she disowns me. I'm terrified of being disowned, but I think I'd be okay if that did happen. I love my mom and she's had to struggle a lot in her life to raise my sister, and she dealt with my abusive dad for years until she finally left him, and he died a few years back. I'm just lost and confused and don't know what to do right now. Should I skip out on this Christmas and keep the peace with my mom, or should I go and say to hell with it and deal with whatever the consequences may be, which I think I'll be okay dealing with? Update. My Muslim mom will likely disown me for spending Christmas with my BF. I posted this last year and thought I'd give an update now that the holidays are rolling around. Again, I did not end up spending Christmas with my BF and his family last year, but I will be this year. My mom is on board and knows about these plans and tickets are already booked and everything. I think she just needed some more time to wrap her head around the whole thing because she was on board pretty quick when I brought it up this year. I know I could have gone last year anyway without her approval, but I also didn't want to permanently damage my relationship with my mom because of it. I love her and she's done a lot for me and I want her to be a part of my life still in the future. Looks like everything worked out because I get to meet my BF family this year and our relationship is going over 2 years strong now. My relationship with my mom is also good right now. I'm looking forward to my first Christmas. Story 3. Should I break up with him, or am I just being selfish? So for starters, we've F19M20 been dating for about 6 months. He's told me he loves me. We lost our virginities to one another. I met his family, and he sometimes cries and gets really emotional because of how strongly he feels about me. But he doesn't want to go out with me. I've never been on a date. This is my first relationship. I tell him I want to go out and do things with him. I even say I'll pay and drive, but he doesn't want to because of his social anxiety. Another thing is that all we do is hang out at his place, while he either plays video games, watches YouTube videos that he's into, or listens to music he likes. We never do anything I'm into. He always makes things sexual, which doesn't really bother me, but it's almost always just for him and pretty much always right after I go home. And I get a text about how much he loves and needs me, but he never does anything for me. I watch his hours of video game streamings after I work. I pay to come see him whenever I'm off because I don't have my own car. I become interested in his interests, and I do things he wants me to. And he doesn't even really bother to even know or talk about the things I like. There's a lot more. He's also really depressed, so that might be it, but I don't know. I always find myself feeling really stupid, but maybe I'm overreacting. He also doesn't have a job and can't drive. He said he doesn't want to go on dates if he can't pay. He's also asked me to move in with him and his parents all the time.